Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. I am so pleased to be with you here today on the new moon in Sagittarius, and also the day that we have Mercury stationing to go retrograde. It is just crazy to me how sometimes astrological events make their way into the mainstream around me. It seems like a lot of people don't follow astrology too closely, but they follow those Mercury retrogrades. And I was literally at the dog park just this afternoon, and I heard a lady talking on the phone with whoever, and she was speaking loud enough that I heard her say to her friend, well, today Mercury's going retrograde, so blah, blah, blah. So, Mercury retrograde today starts for the next 3 weeks. We have the planet of our mental state, the planet of communication, the planet of our mind and our mental capacities. It's going to be slowing down a little bit. I chatted a lot about this last week because we were in motion already as Mercury was slowing down. If you actually look in the sky, it is an optical illusion from our vantage point here on Earth. It looks like the planet actually sits still and then moves backwards in the zodiac in the sky. So it's kind of interesting, but to ancient people who followed this very closely, it was a time to go back and review things and to redo things. And that is why I was saying last week to pay close attention, because if you pay close enough attention, you could maybe even pick out some of these little details in life that are stationing to be redone and to have some more attention to be put on that. So Mercury retrograde, as any retrograde with any planet, we take the themes that that planet represents and we slow them down, we drag them along, and we go back and review them. So communication, phone calls, emails, text messaging could slow down, drag, not get even from place to place or show up later weeks from now. We've got our actual mind, our thinking, our memory, and the ability for our mind to move from thought to thought. That is going to start to wane. The energy there will wane. And so our mind, our actual ability to think about different things during the day, to keep things in our mind. It's a really great time to make physical notes, writing things down on a list as you're thinking about them. Because when Mercury is retrograde, we can tend to forget things or that thought will come up like way later on in January. And you'll be like, oh yeah, I was thinking about that a long time ago. And then, later on, you can take action on that. But right now, it's a time for thinking, for mulling over some of these things. And this is a Capricorn to Sagittarius retrograde. So we have Mercury stationing at 8 degrees of Capricorn and going to be roaming back over the next 3 weeks to 22 degrees of Sagittarius. And so that is where you can look in your birth chart to see what house that falls in, if you have any points or planets in that area. And you can kind of see where this retrograde is going to be affecting your personal life. And so that is something we'll be following over the next few weeks. And then we have, of course, our new moon in Sagittarius today. New moons are all about making new intentions. We are entering a new lunar cycle. And then we also have the themes of Sagittarius wrapped up in our new moon. And Sagittarius is the sign of adventure, the sign of foreign travel, foreign thoughts. This is like like looking into different perspectives. And also the Sagittarius, the sign of Sagittarius is like the time, even kind of associating it with the weather in the northern hemisphere here. This is the time when all of the leaves have fallen off of the trees and you get that wider vision. And Sagittarius has the ability to kind of see these wider visions, to look, out into those other perspectives and other areas. And new moons are typically pretty internal. Sagittarius is a fire energy. It's a fire sign. It's a mutable fire sign. And the mutable signs are the ones that are okay with change and are flexible. And so this could be a time where we remain very flexible to the energies around us. And, if the new moon is bringing in some of these new cycles for you, to be very flexible with those and to allow things to sort of shape up the way that they are naturally going to do so. Sagittarius is also the sign of higher education and the higher mind and just, thinking about things on that philosophical kind of level. Sagittarius also about beliefs, belief systems, religion, and these types of indoctrinated sort of belief systems, if those are the right words. Sagittarius is an active energy ruled by the planet of Jupiter and is like a go-getter, very optimistic. And so that's really nice energy. There is also at play during this new moon, we have the Mercury Retrograde slowing things down a bit. And this I was also discussing last week. I just feel like right now is a really sweet spot. This new moon in Sagittarius and this Mercury Retrograde, allowing us some time to slow down and to take stock and to sort of look out the window and gaze and be that Sagittarius visionary, allow your mind to kind of rest and view things. And this is a very special time. This new moon, I think, is one of the quietest new moons that we've had in a really long time. Definitely in the last 3 months, possibly in the last 6 months, this is the quietest new moon, which just means that we can go internal more, that there's going to be more space for us to create our intentions and to feel in to, what this is all about for us and what type of new cycle that we are needing to engage on, and where we are headed, where we've come from. This is a really nice time here, just right around the winter solstice. Also, just to go inside, and just new moons. The last 6 months have had all kinds of things. I mean, just going back to last month, the new moon. Okay, I'll just do this with you. I already did it on my own. But last month, the new moon had Uranus in an opposition and conjunct with the moon. Uranus is like a hot ticket energy and is big. And then going back to the new moon in October, that new moon in October had the solar eclipse. That was our new moon in Libra, and eclipses are always extra intense. And that was another big hot ticket new moon going back to September. We had our new moon in Virgo, and this one was actually just right at the time when Mercury was stationing direct. And so we had another moment here where it was a little quiet, but that moon was also in a trine with Jupiter and Uranus at that new moon in September, just creating bigger energy. The new moon in August in Leo, super hot ticket volatility with Mars in a trine with Uranus, more Mars, Uranus, fiery energy. Going back to July's new moon in Cancer. This one was right at the time when the nodes shifted from Scorpio and Taurus into Aries and Libra, changing up the energies and making things feel, like they were shifting. And so literally the last new moon that I can go back to where I feel like it was kind of calm like this was the new moon in Gemini on June 17th. And so there you go. That's my explanation on why I think this new moon is so special. So use it to your advantage. The universe, the planets, the solar system, the energies at play are giving us this opportunity. So we definitely need to use it wisely. As we move later on into the week, we have some more things happening over the weekend. We have Mars in a trine with Chiron on December 15th. This is really nice. Mars is in Sagittarius, affecting Sagittarius season. And Mars is the warrior planet. Mars is our fiery planet of wanting to go out and cause trouble and like make things happen in life. We are ambitious. We are also kind of like getting things, whether it like hurts people around us or not, when Mars is in control. It's like a shoot first, ask questions later kind of energy. And so Mars coming into a trine with Chiron. Chiron is in Aries, has been in Aries for a really long time. People with Aries energy and with points in the first degrees, between 1 and 15 degrees of Aries, have been going through major healing over the past many years. And so Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron is the energy. It's actually an asteroid. And this is the wounded healer, where we recognize our wounds and we see these things inside of us that maybe even we carry from lifetime to lifetime. The energy follows us from lifetime to lifetime. These are our immortal wounds. These are things that we are deeply embedded in us, that we are trying to heal. Mars is a linear energy. Mars wants to make things happen. And so this trine with Chiron is bringing in physical healing to us this week. It's happening Mars is at 15 degrees of Sagittarius. Chiron's at 15 degrees of Aries. If you have planets or points right here, this is bringing a big healing in to everyone in general. But if you have personal planets here or points, then it's going to be a little more personal for you. Big time healing. This is like you can even go out and seek this physical healing, maybe even like a spa day or like a day to start some new health routine or something. Maybe this new moon in Sagittarius has got you all, ready and fired up to do something for your health and for your well-being, to get you through the rest of this winter. And so this trine is going to bring in some energy for us to get fired up to start this and to do this and to have this healing. And so this weekend, really nice for kind of what would it be, like kind of burning out. What do I want to say? Like kind of like burning it out, like not like burning the candle at both ends, but almost like when you have an old engine that hasn't been driven in a while in a car and you need to go out onto the highway and like push the gas pedal really hard and just blow out the engine so that all that stuff that's kind of been settled in there gets an opportunity to get out of there. Like, I feel like this is the energy of the Mars trining Chiron this weekend. And then as we move into the weekend, we have the sun in a square to Neptune. And right now we have Neptune at 25 degrees of Pisces ending a cycle here. Neptune is the planetary ruler of Pisces and is really strong here, bringing up a lot of emotion, bringing up a lot of empathetic feelings. I mean, after all, Pisces is the sign of empathy. And so Neptune feels everything. And when the sun comes into this type of energy with Neptune, we can feel it. The sun is representing our personal sort of identity. It's like we are there in that moment. That's our individual, the place that we're at, how we are feeling the world, where the sun is placed. And so when the sun comes into this square with Neptune, can kind of like bring in a bit of this higher vibe of spirituality that Neptune represents, could bring in this higher intuition that Neptune brings. There is like basically an unfathomable amount of intuition built up in Pisces energy and Neptune energy. So any time that a planet has come into an aspect with Neptune in Pisces, it's like a blast of intuition. So we're really feeling into that this weekend. Sagittarius, as I said, is like the higher mind. You know, this is where we sort of go into these thoughts about philosophy, and we want to allow our mind to go to new places. And Neptune is like an unconditional space where our mind can go into mystery and to the collective unconscious of all of humankind. So, wow, coming into some contact with the collective unconscious this weekend and our higher mind and our intuition. A square could be kind of challenging energy. We could receive some information or receive some kind of intuitive blast that brings more of a challenging sort of vibe. But, you know, we need to dredge up some of these things so that we can heal them and we can move past them and keep continuing on in life. And so all necessary, beautiful things to take place. And then on December 18th, we have Mercury coming into a trine with Jupiter. And this is some big energy and also energy that we are going to repeat over again as Mercury is in this retrograde, making a trine with Jupiter. We could receive some big information. Jupiter is the planet of big stuff. This is the planet of expansion. And of, like something kind of big happening, because Jupiter carries so much energy with it in the solar system, and everything kind of gravitates towards this big energy. And so, Mercury going into a quieter space, we could receive some information, some blast of something that, we're going to be actually coming back to, later in Mercury's retrograde after stations direct comes back into this trine with Jupiter later in January, and we'll get some more information about this. So another good reason to just stay really kind of like, actually, the thing that's coming to me right now is something that Eileen Locke, local astrologer and a guru of mine, says. She says, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, and that's because we should be listening more than more than we talk. And that's actually that's actually what came to mind right now. And I think that is absolutely at play during this quiet time, this new moon in Sagittarius and this Mercury retrograde, to stay more quiet and to listen and to let the intuitive messages come through, and to not feel like we have to like pull a trigger on anything, because after all, it's a time for us to slow down and to just allow. And so we are just allowing awareness, and we don't need to do anything as information comes to us, as things happen, as we experience the world. Doesn't require us to take action on everything. And that is what that's what I'm personally being reminded of right now with the energies that are available to us. And use it wisely, because later on, as we start the month of January and end the month of December, we have multiple planets, Chiron, Jupiter, Mercury, stationing direct, end of December, 1st of January, planets shifting into new signs, and big things coming up in January. So I feel like, it's just a really sweet spot. So definitely do enjoy it. And a shout out to some queens listening today. Melissa, Peace Bird, thanks for being tuned in. I love you both. And see you on winter solstice. We've got some winter solstice plans. I hope you do too. This is a really nice time of year to connect with loved ones and to share in all of the good things that are available and all the good treats that are available out there. So I hope that this was helpful for you. And if you need to get a hold of me, you can always do so at Stacey Dread, STACIEDREAD @gmail.com. If you have any questions about anything, or you need access to your own astrological birth chart, you can get a hold of me there. But enjoy the quiet of this new moon in Sagittarius and this Mercury retrograde. And I'll be back next week for a pre-winter solstice show on Tuesday. And then a week after that, I'll be in the day after Christmas too. So that'll feel really good. And on that day, we have Chiron stationing direct. So anywho, I will talk to you then. Thank you so much, and peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.